What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.
Opinionated, outspoken, informative. The Jaguar Journal. Your source for the latest information on Southern University sports and SWAC athletics. A Baton Rouge sports talk tradition.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Saturday to everybody out there in Louisiana and across the land and Jaguar land on this Saturday morning. I am Brandi B. Harris. He's on it this morning. My guy Perry is out. This is the Jaguar Journal. Perry will be in just a few minutes. Happy Saturday to everybody. Let's ease on into things. It's 7:06 on a Saturday morning. It's not that bad outside. We had some showers yesterday. So here in Baton Rouge, we're easing in to the weekend. It does not feel like it's scorching hot just yet. And guess what? It's a wonderful weekend because the Southern University Alumni Federation is in the middle of their national conference right now that's been happening right here in Baton Rouge. And we're going to talk about it in just a few minutes with the national president. That's going to be a fantastic conversation. Mr. Carlton B. Jones of the SU Alumni Federation, the national president. Their conference, again, is happening right now. And you're so lucky to have me on the Jaguar Journal because guess what? I'm going to be the MC tonight for their awards gala that's happening at the Southern University Smith Brown Memorial Union this evening. So super excited about that. Got a lot going on. You know, I'm one of those girls. I've got some last minute things I got to go touch up on this Saturday morning before we get out there tonight and have a fantastic time. We're going to hear from Mr. Mark Morial. We all know him. He's the former mayor of New Orleans. He's now the president of the National Urban League. He's been the president of the National Urban League for some time. Mr. Mark H. Morial. We're going to hear from him this evening. He's going to be the keynote speaker at the Circle of Achievement Awards Gala that's happening tonight in the Cotillion Ballroom. Again, we're going to hear from the president of the Alumni Federation in just a bit. So that's going to be exciting. And there's a lot going on campus. While there may not be a lot of sports going on, I've mentioned it on this show before. I was one of those kids who grew up going to campus, being signed up for different programs. Shout out to the Timbuktu Academy. I was there every single summer from elementary through high school. They sent us to other colleges across the country. So many of us Black students in science and math, brilliant kids who are now doctors and professors and teachers and lawyers and broadcasters and doing all kinds of fantastic things. And there's always something going on campus for the kids and for the community because we all know Southern University, like many HBCUs across the country, is a community hub. So later on in the show, we'll also hear from Mr. Kedrick Taylor, band director of the Glorious Human Jukebox, because they're having their high school band and dance camp. Again, anybody connected to Southern, you already know. We all know somebody who knows somebody. I've got literally my own brothers and sisters who grew up going to these bands, these dance camps, ended up being dancing dolls, ended up joining the band. So can't wait to hear from him about that program. And we're going to continue some more conversations about moves going on in the SWAC, chess moves going on in the SWAC, and what's going on with that. So we're looking forward to that conversation. Again, Perry's not in right now, but he will be in just a minute. So this is also that time of year. More things are coming out. The Southern University Athletics Department is planning for their gala that's coming up in August. I'll be having more information about that in the next few weeks. So that's going to be fantastic. Time right now is 7:09. What else is going on out there? Baby, it's hot and debate season is here. And for me, I'm looking forward to the political break to the Summer Olympics. I enjoy it. It's the one time we all kind of get around and get to watch a bunch of sports that we normally don't get to watch, especially with like professional sports and college sports not being so active in that June, July time. So I'm looking very, very much forward to that. That's going to be a great time. I don't know where Perry is. I hope he's listening so he hears whenever I do this to say I don't know where Perry is, but he's on his way. And of course we're gonna give him grace for that. But we're gonna have some wonderful guests today. Again, there's so much going on in the Southern University community and network this morning, so we're looking forward to it. I think he is listening. So we're gonna hear from him in a second. But that's fantastic. We've got a lot going on this morning that we are looking for. We're gonna take that. Fantastic. So I think we have Perry on the line.
Brandi.
Perry, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing well. Another Saturday morning. I see you holding it down.
Yeah, holding it down, getting people started this morning. But there's a lot, like I was saying, there's a lot going on around the Southern University network this morning and this weekend. I'll be emceeing the fabulous Circle of Achievement Awards Gala tonight at the Cotillion Ballroom. We're going to have Carlton Jones on, the national president, to talk about that in a bit. We've been talking a lot about marching bands. The SU High School Band and Dance Camp is going on campus right now. Perry, were you in band?
Was I in band at Southern?
No. I'm in high school or...
Yeah, I actually, so tell you a funny story how I ended up in band. So I was transferring to coming to a new high school, and I was at a wedding, and one of the guys that I knew that was DJing stopped me and said, man, what you going to do at the high school next year? I said, man, I don't know. I don't know anybody. I don't really know what to do. He said, man, you ought to get in the band. I'm in the band. And that band, of course, is like many bands around the state of Louisiana, show style type of band. And I said, man, I don't even know how to play an instrument. He said, man, don't worry about it. Just come get in the band. And how he told me, he said, man, we go on a lot of trips. We go to Florida, Atlanta. We go to Houston. And he said there was a lot of girls in the band, and that's what got me. So I got in the band because of that, Brandi.
You're sick. You're sick. That's
you
fine.
A 10th grader, man, and you telling me I go on trips as girls. Of course I'll sign up. So, yes, I was in the band for 2 years in high school. Didn't know how to play an instrument, but I guess it just showed how good I was able to. I got on, and I learned how to play an instrument real quick.
Well, I wasn't in band, but I think I've said on this show before, my late grandfather was a band director, a high school marching band director. And my dad, my uncles, my aunt, they all were in bands. And my dad played in the jukebox. And he pledged KK Psi and the whole nine. So, I love going on campus with him and his, his frat brothers and his line brothers and his brothers from Human Jukebox, which is, I think, kind of cool. It's always like a mini family reunion. One of his closest band friends and frat brothers is my uncle. Well, I call him my uncle because he's been in my life my whole life. You know what I mean? He's kind of like a surrogate uncle. He's always been there. So I think that that's cool. But my sister-in-law, she's a former dancing doll. So when I watched them from high school and my brother-in-law in high school go to this band camp, which I think is so cool, and then to watch them, go on to join the Human Jukebox and fulfill all their meet all their goals and expectations that they have for themselves. I think that that's super cool because I know how hard it is and how hard they have to work.
Yeah, you're talking about reading music, instruments, and I had the best of both worlds, playing sports and trying out band. And, for any young person out there, and I always say the arts, whether it's band, choir, whatever the case may be, it opens so many doors to young people outside of the athletic world in which you can able to go to college. Those talents are able to afford you lifestyles and opportunities in life as a musician, an artist, or whatever the case may be, that you go off into life and looking for success. And so I support those a lot. I know across many school districts in the country, they have slashed plenty of funding towards the arts, especially in urban schools. But listen, those arts send so many students, and that's why the beautiful thing about HBCUs, and you look across the landscape of HBCU bands, right? You get kids from all across the country, especially areas that not necessarily are in the footprint of HBCUs. Let's take the Chicagos, the Detroit, the Cleveland, the St. Louis, the Indianapolis, all across, wherever the case may be, Kansas City, L.A. It gives those students an opportunity to leave their prospective neighborhoods, leave those areas, and go to college and become be in band and get opportunities to experience HBCUs, man. And so hats off to the many HBCU band directors that are out there that continuously go across all of these cities and towns across the nation and find these young people and give them opportunities to pursue a college degree as well as to continue to perfect their craft as musicians.
Yeah, no, I just think it's fantastic that it gives them, creative outlet. And of course, we all know there's so many studies about how being able to read music and play music and just what it does for your brain. It makes you so smart in the long term. So I'm looking forward to tonight because I got this new dress and I'm very excited about emceeing this gala tonight at the Cotillion Ballroom in the Smith Brown Memorial Union on campus for the Circle of Achievement Gala tonight for the Southern University Alumni Federation. I'm realizing, Perry, the older I get, I love a gala. I love a ball gown. I love a classy, have, a good time, see some people. I'm really, really enjoying this era of life. I truly, truly am.
Well, hey, I had nothing wrong with that, Brandi. I guess we need to get ready to take a break, and when we come back on the other side, we'll have the director of bands of Southern University, Dr. Kedrick Taylor, talk to us about the summer band and dance camp and how that is affected to continue to pave the way for the next generation of students to come to Southern University. So, Brandi, get us to a break.
Yeah, let's go. We're going to take a quick break. This is the Jaguar Journal.
Danny Johnson, first and foremost, outstanding young man, great character, great young man. Can't say enough about him. Great father. You always see him, hanging around with his son and spending time with his son and his family. As a player, I can't say enough about him. He has all the athletic ability that you would want in a kid with playing corner, the footwork, speed, all the intangibles.
I have a good work ethic. It's been a lot of times, in the off season, I gotta just push myself to go work out. Even if nobody else was out there, just to get an extra push when we get back into the season. Because I always wanted to have that edge over everybody else. So, it's just that mindset that I have. I want to be one of the best. So, I gotta push myself. If anybody else does. And it's like a lot of stuff that I want to do with my son that I can't do because I'm playing ball. So my biggest return to him is just, having him come to games on Saturday. He can see his father play in front of, thousands of people. It makes him happy. So whenever he's happy, I'm happy. But just when I get the chance to just go home and, hear everything, he's been doing in school and, what he likes and doesn't like, it just brings me back to that fatherhood of just being around him, and that's what I like to do. I put academics over football because, I can't play football forever. At some point, I'm going to have to rely on that degree. So, that's my biggest thing, and that's one reason why I came to Southern, to get that degree. So I set myself up to where I'll be able to graduate right after the season. So if football doesn't work out for me, I can always come back and go to grad school. So, education is a big thing for me.
Danny Johnson will put Southern University on a, national stage. Obviously, everybody knows about Jag Nation and Southern University, but you'll see Danny Johnson playing on Sunday one day, and he'll be able to be an ambassador, for the university.
What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.
Welcome back to the Jaguar Journal. This is Brandi B. Harris. Perry White is on the line. Mr. White, good morning.
Lord, that is so loud in my ear.
It's loud in your ear.
No, I'm just messing with you, Brandi. Look, that is your signature at this point. You have
It is. I was gonna say we can't do anything about it at this point, Perry. People have stopped me. They have messaged me. They have commented that they like the air horns. Hit it one more time for him, Mike. I'm sorry. And it is what it is. And it is what it is. It's like the explanation point on the signature there, on the sentence.
I understand. As we continue to keep the show going today, Brandi, we got a very special guest joining us right now on the line. He is the director of bands at Southern University, Dr. Kedrick Taylor, to talk to us about the Southern University Summer Band and Dance Camp. Good morning, Dr. Taylor.
Good morning. How y'all doing this morning?
Good morning, Mr. Taylor. How are you?
I can't complain. I'm doing pretty good. Just kind of relaxing from the camp this week. We just had it was really, I can't even put it into words, but I'm still excited. Man, we had an amazing week with our students from all over the United States. We had students representing every area you could think of. So I think we did an amazing job with the students, and they definitely did an amazing job. But we had fun with them. Normally when Friday comes, we so ready for everybody to go home. But this year, man, these students, they made us want to, keep them another week.
Dr. Taylor, let me ask you, for anybody that's out there that's listening, this could be new to their ears. What is the Southern University Summer Band and Dance Camp? What is the idea of it? How did it get started and its purpose?
So we've been doing the camp since 1996. Dr. Greg started it. And the idea of the Summer Band Dance Camp for high school students were basically to recruit students, kind of like how they do football camps. How they have basketball camps, the football camps, to, see future prospects. And it's giving students an opportunity to see what it is that we do at Southern University as the human jukebox at an early age, to give them an idea of, what they're coming into, as if you wanted to say, hey, well, I don't know anything about Southern, so I want to go experience their high school camp. So it's kind of like a small portion of what we do with the human jukebox. So it gives students that probably never heard of Southern University the opportunity to hear about Southern University through our band and dance camp. So students, register for the camp, and they come for a week. Well, not really a week. They come in on Sunday and they go home Friday. So they learn music. They come learn basic fundamentals from playing to marching. This week we had the opportunity to bring in a lot of guests to help students see that, we have a lot of partners that we, allow to come talk to the students about careers. We had Mr. Hankey come through, tell them about producing. He produced a lot of records for different artists. So if anybody was interested in that, we had someone for that. We had somebody for, different areas of fields of career that look like us, that letting them know, hey, you can do this as well. So that's what our dancing band camp represents. So any student that aspires to be a musician at the next level, they definitely would want to come to Southern University. So the experience that you gain and the knowledge you gain, you can't beat it.
So, Doc, I was saying just a little while ago that, I grew up going to Southern every summer from elementary through high till I graduated high school. Different programs and opportunities that were there on campus. And I know kids who went to the band and dance camp every summer of high school, and they didn't wind up joining the Human Jukebox. Can you talk to me about how the program is not just for people who want to do this in college? It could be recruiting them just to come to Southern, right? And spending that summer there and building relationships and friendships and a community so that when they do register for freshman year, they're already set to go.
It's funny that you say that because we had 502 students in this camp this year. There's no way all 502 are coming to be in the band. So we've seen over the years a lot of students would come and, join the camp. And, we thinking, all right, man, we know this student coming, be in the band. And then when it's time for that student to be in the band, we're like, hey, what because you remember standout students. And just them having the experience of coming on campus, sometimes, they realize, band might not be for me, but I definitely still want to go to Southern University. Or sometimes it's been cases where students will come to camp and realize that Southern University just wasn't for me because I don't know if I'm good enough to be in that band. So it's a learning experience, none other than, it's kind of like if I went to Nick Saban camp at Alabama, I'm sure, they'll take my money and go for the experience, but I wouldn't be good enough to play on the team. So it gives a gauge of where you are as a musician, for one, and then it also opens the opportunity to say, hey, I might not want to be in the band, but I might can join this organization because Upward Bound is on campus, as well as, other organizations that students are able to see. But the networking portion of it, man, today time, these students have group chats. They had the group chats going before they even got on campus. So they knew each other. The networking portion for them, it was amazing because they didn't want to leave because now they think they're friends because they've been together and they've been talking in the groups. So, it's definitely an exciting opportunity for the students.
But for the kids that are...
Because it goes beyond just the students. You're talking about band directors from across the country as well that get an opportunity to come in and learn from you guys and other band directors. Talk about that side of it and how band directors can be involved with this also.
And we had over 30, 40 band directors per day coming to campus. We were doing clinics, professional development. So these guys, not only they students get, enrichment, that the directors can get some enrichment as well. So they can take those credits back and put it on their certificate. We wanted to provide an opportunity for them to grow as well. And a lot of the guys that come back are Southern University graduates. So it's like we produce, you get what you produce. And so a lot of the camp was graduates from Southern University. And there were a lot of people that graduated from other schools that wanted to go to Southern University who said, well, at the time, Southern did give me a scholarship, and I got a full scholarship to this school. So, but I wanted to really be at Southern. I should have still came. So I wanted my students to get that experience. So, that, for me, that's funny because the perception is we don't give money. But the thing is, we just don't have to give as much money as other schools because it don't cost as much to go to Southern University as it do other schools. And people think they're getting a better opportunity going to other schools, but it's kind of like if I'm going by the same car and one car is cheaper than the other one, but the other one gives you a bigger rebate, but you think you're coming out cheaper just because the rebate on the other car was bigger. And that's what's going on. Like over the years, people have thought that it was better to go to other schools because people gave them more money, but they didn't come out cheaper in the end. So those directors realized that, and now they want their students to get the experience they didn't receive when they were coming up. So we have a lot of people that come that from all different schools, and we welcome them in because, you know, we want the students to learn no matter where. That's the impact of the Human Jukebox. Those students were so excited, and their directors. We had one director shed a tear coming in there. I was like, man, that's, you know, you didn't know how impactful that band has been over the years until you get to hear people's stories and hear these band directors come in there and say, man, this is like a dream come true for me. And I'm like, I thought you know, more for the students, but they wanted to get that experience as well. So, man, directors had the opportunity to come in and experience what it's like to be in the Isaac Griggs Band Hall as well.
And one last thing, because we know the whole point is recruiting, and I know quite a few. There's students in the band right now who went to that band camp, that band and dance camp, all through high school. If you had to say off the top of your head, what percentage of your current band members attended the band and dance camp?
I would say 10%. It's funny because you still have students that you go out and recruit, and some of them never heard of Southern University. And I was like, you sure you never heard of the Human Jukebox? Like, well, I just heard about the Human Jukebox. I saw some clips on YouTube. Like, this young lady, they came from California. And, you know, I was like, okay, how did you hear from us from California? And, you know, they said YouTube, and during COVID, they were watching videos, and they saw this band, and she said, I just have to come here, you know, to experience this. And that's kind of like a lot of the students that come to Southern University, because some people can't afford the camp. And it's not that it's that expensive, but when you factor in travel and the cost of the camp, you know, it can get a little costly if your parents don't have the finances to do it. But some students don't get that opportunity, and you know, and we understand. But man, a lot of the students, they don't come to the camp, but they hear about the band from YouTube and don't have the opportunity to come to campus, even a tour, until it's time to move on campus. All they wanted to do is march in that band. So I would say around 10% of the students come to Southern University from the band dance camp that's in the band right now currently.
But Dr. Taylor, man, I appreciate you for coming on this morning, man, and giving us an update of the Southern University Summer Band and Dance Camp. And for a lot of people, we talk about the band a lot, but those dancers, man, they are so inspired by the dancing dolls. I'm sure there was a whole auditorium of dancers by itself.
Man, they were so packed in the event center. I walked in, I was like, oh, I like it was 130 young ladies there for the dance camp. It's so big that we thinking about splitting it, but I know they enjoy being with the band for the showcase. But I'm like, it's like they need more room because it's continuing to grow, and it's like eventually, man, we got 3 groups that we have to do to split the young ladies up, and it's almost like 50 young ladies per group.
That just lets you know the impact of the Southern University Marching Band, the impact that you guys have on social media, YouTube, and it's not the most watched band in the world for nothing. The impact that you guys do in terms of the branding and marketing of Southern University, being that marquee name and brand for the institution as the Human Jukebox, does not go unnoticed, man. And thank you for all that you do and your staff. And give a shout out to your staff as well and everybody that was involved to make this thing successful for you guys, kid.
Man, we have an amazing staff. These guys did a phenomenal job with the students. Social Director Bands, Mr. William Young. Assistant Director Bands, Mr. Cedric Todd. Assistant Director Bands, Mr. Kenneth Collins. Assistant Director Bands, Mr. Safa Raouf. Also, we have our new program manager, academic liaison, because we take academics serious at Southern University, Human Jukebox. So our academic advisor, Ms. Miracle Rosette. We also have our fabulous dancing doll sponsors, Ms. Tracy Prince, and also Mr. Tara Frank. And we have our marketing and branding teams, which is Mr. Eric Johnson, Mr. Jaguar Morgan, and Will Rosette. And last but not least, our media director, who keeps everybody abreast of what's going on with the Southern University Human Jukebox, Mr. Gary Edison.
Well, thank you, Dr. Taylor,
Thank you
for coming
so much,
on,
Dr.
man.
Taylor.
It was good to hear about the summer band and dance camp. I hope it continues to get bigger and bigger each and every year as you guys can continuously show that 500 students. I mean, hands down. And the great thing about it, whether they come to be in the band or not, a lot of those students are just going to choose Southern University because of the experience that you guys opened up and the opportunity for them to see the campus. So, man, thank you for coming on and giving us that information. And you know we're going to have you back closer towards football season because you guys are going to have some big things going on as we get ready for the season as well.
Oh, I'm pumped up. I ain't been this pumped up since I came to Southern University. So it's going to, hey, we coming, like Deanna say.
Okay, we're going to be looking forward to that. Thank you so much, Dr. Taylor. All right, Perry, well, we do have a guest here in the house, so let's take a quick break. We're going to pay some bills, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the Southern University Alumni Federation's national conference that's been going on throughout this week. We're going to talk all about it with the national president, Mr. Carlton Jones Jr. So we'll take a quick break, Perry. You going to stay on the line for us?
I'm not going nowhere.
Okay, we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back. This is the Jaguar Journal.
It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
Talk about offense, we talk about Southern, and it begins with their passing game.
Tom, beyond potent, we're talking about high octane, we're talking about fast break, we're talking about 41 points a game, some 500-plus yards since Terrence Levy has taken over this offense.
Because that young man doesn't drop any ball.
With the legacy that you started here, you got to feel happy to see it continue on with Doug Williams.
Ball now back at the 22-yard line. Levy, no pressure at all. Touchdown, Ingram. The Bayou Classic. Levy on a first and goal play. Throws a touchdown. Grambling comes with a blitz. Levy steps in the pocket, and his pass is caught. One-handed grab.
Sort of in the middle of the road of the SWAC, but immediately they jump on the Jackson State defense. And here's Levy rolling out. And the pass is caught. Ball is at the 31-yard line. Again throwing the football downfield. Oh, and his receiver, Hayes, makes the catch. See you later. Touchdown, Southern. If you're going to get, I got some free tickets. Look out for it, brother. Going downfield. Oh, and what a play by Southern.
Score. He's played a lot tougher ever since. And this is a free play for Southern.
2nd and 15.
It's a free play.
Levy completes his
It's
pass.
a free play.
Oh, and he's still up.
It's a free play.
Hayes. Hayes is going to continue running inside the 10, the 5. Unbelievable, Michael Hayes. 3rd down. And 23 for a first. Levy over the middle. Nice pass that time. 2nd and 20. Levy doesn't have to get it all, but he's going to have to pick up some yards. Here he is throwing, nice catch made.
The receiver, Michael Hayes. There he goes.
Hayes makes the catch. Hayes still on his feet. Hayes looking for blocking. Hayes trying to find a hole. Hayes is still on his feet. He alley-oops. He's inside the 15 and drawn out a foul.
Touchdown.
The backfield. Plenty of time for Levy across the middle. Has his man at the 15. You know, I don't know if you want to break the spirit of Terrence Levy or not. Here he wings one wide open down the middle and a one-handed grab made.
The way. 3rd down in 4. And here's Lewis off the catch. Lewis still on his feet. And Lewis is streaking down the sideline. Touchdown. So they move back 5 yards. Levy on 3rd down. Looking down the sideline. Yes, sir. Big time player.
Guys stepping up like they're going to.
Welcome back. This is the Jaguar Journal. I'm Brandi B. Harris. Thank you, Mike. We've now dubbed them Brandy's air horns. Perry White on the line. Good morning, P.
Good morning. Good morning.
And we have a special guest in the building today. We've got Mr. Carlton Jones, president, national president of the Southern University Alumni Federation. He's here, physically here, to which Perry is not.
Look, Perry, I had a bag for you and everything. I mean, I was ready to go. I had my lanyard. Brandy's going to get a lanyard. She's got her conference bag.
Swag bag.
She got a conference bag from
I'm
Top
getting
Choice.
my swag bag.
Brother Howard White
gave
gave these, and she's got all her stuff ready. I got my lanyard on. She's going to put her lanyard on. We're ready to go, Perry.
Well, let me say this. Hold on. You make sure you just hold on to that bag. I will be back, okay? It's not like I'm gone forever. I will be back. That bag, you just make sure I can get to that bag. Brandi called somebody. Mike, just hold on to the bag for me.
I don't know. They say early bird get the worm. Now, if it's not here by next Saturday, what we going to do? I don't know. I think that bag going to be, it is what it is.
Well, next time I'll have some type of intro music. I know we got the air horn, so next time we'll work on that.
Okay,
that's how you can make it up to me. You can make it up to me. I need some type of intro music or something.
He coming in like he a wrestler or something, Brandi. He wants that wrestling interest music.
Well, he's coming in all pumped up because they're kind of wrapping up the Southern University Alumni Federation National Conference that's been going on here in Baton Rouge this week. Tell me what's been the theme of that?
The blueprint, one mission, one system, one voice, actually is the theme. And it speaks to, and Dr. Taylor, I love Dr. Taylor, what he's done, but it speaks to Southern University doing it together. We're not going to do this independently. And Dr. Taylor got his band camp, we're doing this together. It's the same week as a band camp. So that just talks about, what we're doing as a university, being busy, producing young adults matriculating through the university, but not also that, educating our alumni and what's going on with Southern University.
When I was matriculating through campus, when I was matriculating through the university, through my degree program, I did a story and I interviewed the athletic director at the time, and he was coming from Northwestern. And he was talking to me about the importance of building a strong alumni system that other universities of our same size, not some big, huge 60,000, like not that, the schools that are on the same size platform as Southern, and how building that alumni system really, really helps to support the university, especially when you're in the face of, statewide budget cuts and stuff like that. So talk to me about what the Alumni Federation is doing to help the system.
That's a good point. And, Southern has over 100,000 alumni. 100,000 alumni out there coming back to band camps, but coming back to the national conference. And my kids are big Hamilton fans. You got to be in the room where it happens. The room where it happened, I was going to sing, but that, my voice,
don't worry about that. Leave that to the artists and the musicians.
Practice didn't go good before I got here. But the room where it happened, we have Nessa LaFleur with the legislator out there. You had the president giving updates on the university. You had all the chancellors were there. You need to be in a room where you can hear these conversations and discussions and talk to them, put them to the side, and tell them how you can help, how you can engage. Our alumni are an extension of the university. Our job is to be an extension and add resources to them. So you want to be able to hear what the issues are and how we can help. And that's what the Alumni Conference does, put you in a room with the administrators, with the faculty, with the staff, and see how we can help assist them in making Southern great.
And what are some of those conversations that y'all... Go ahead, Perry, I'm sorry.
One of the questions I always have, especially when it comes to alumni engagement, and for you being a national president, you travel around the country, you go to all of these chapters that are across the country and engage with them. What seems to be the toughest thing once students graduate coming from Southern University to try to get them back involved and become active members of alumni chapters across the country? What just seems to be the toughest thing where we can continue to grow those numbers, get bigger numbers at the alumni conference, get bigger donors, and just get people to be involved more?
The thing I've biggest found is communication. It's communication. You have a lot of older alums, but to your point, how do we engage the younger ones? It's communication has always been the key. They some alumni need mailers, some alumni need a text message, some alumni need Instagram. So it's various ways we got to get to them, and then also we've got to do a better job of showing how we add value to them. You're graduating. You got an apartment, you got no furniture, you're trying to figure this thing out. And that's my story. I had no furniture. I moved to California, it's not great, no furniture, you're trying to figure this thing out. You got your job, trying to know what to do. Where do I go? Where are the resources for me to learn how to grow in my career and also to learn personally? That's what alumni can get engaged, being mentorships. But we got to communicate, do a better job of communicating with them on how we can assist them and grow grow as adults.
And sometimes I think or at least from my experience, when you're using the words networking and mentorships, it kind of seems overwhelming, or maybe you seem like you don't have that. And I like to really, really reinforce to young people that just because you went to Southern, you're in the network. Yeah. And you don't even realize that. Like, literally, you can just get on social media and look up Southern University, and you're going to come across the profiles of people geographically close to you who also have that Southern. And now just reach out and just say, I'm a Southernite, I'm a Jaguar, and I'm here, and I don't know if there's any way that we can have coffee or something. It's literally that easy. But at the conference, y'all are doing some of the hard work of really connecting the dots for the alumni to the system and current students and former students. So talk to me about continuing to build that network and help, like Perry said, help them from the conference conversation.
So that's a good point. What I think we've done is a couple of things. Number one, at the conference is a business meeting. It's a business meeting as well. And one of the things we did, we added the SGA presidents to the Alumni Federation Executive Council. You've had stories about being on campus. Perry's got a story about being on campus, being an alumni house. We got to get them engaged early on. And maybe to Perry's point, we got to get them engaged on. So the SGA presidents are part of the Executive Council to be in our meetings, to get updates, to get everything that's going on. Then also, we also have opened the door for them to be in the room with us as well. This evening, during our gala, we've got students that are going to come in that have been paid for to come in and be with Mark Morial for the gala tonight. They've got students that are just going to come in and get an opportunity to be in the room with the alumni. I think that's going to be a big part in doing it, and that's what part the conference plays in trying to engage our young alumni, getting them in the room for these alumni, these chapter presidents. We've got chapter presidents from Atlanta, D.C., L.A., Chicago, I keep going down, all over the nation. They've got students here, and they've got stories, and they've got histories to tell, and this will be a great place for alumni to come and engage in network.
So, Clarkson, you look at the alumni and the reason I was heavily involved when I was in school, and everybody, you can't go to the alumni house and not know Miss Rutledge, right? But all around, I was able to benefit from scholarships, from chapters, from just the Alumni Federation as a whole, and as well as attend national conferences and leadership conferences. But what is the mission and the history of the Alumni Federation, and what's the point of it?
The alumni, oh, wow. Yeah, so we're going way back in the day. The Alumni Federation was formed, like we talked about earlier, to add resources to the university. That's our mission. And in order to do that, it takes dollars. And to your point, during my administration, we gave out close to over $100,000 in scholarships to students. Some of that went to the band. Our first VP, Courtney Jarrell, did a fundraiser support of Southern Night, raised over $60,000 this past year. And a lot of that went to the band. That's a big way to help these faculty, these staff members, these units within the university to engage those students and keep them. You hear stories about, hey, I came to the band camp, I didn't want to stay, I saw something else, how opportunities. We've got to be able to do our part in keeping those kids. Dollars is a big part of that, and scholarships plays a role in that.
And I know, just looking back to this past Bayou Classic, which was just a fantastic, huge, ginormous, iconic event. New business connections, big business connections. Does the Alumni Federation play a part in connecting the university to some of these big corporations? I always assume that it's got to, because it's always alumni from some of these big, huge corporations that are, representing or speaking up for Southern in these rooms. I
think you were at the conference, weren't you? We have an alum, Mr. Roussel, who's with Amazon. They came into the presentation. They're going to have SU Amazon Echoes that they want to partner with the university. When you do the presentation, we can order it. You can have Echoes at smart.echoes that can have with Amazon with Southern University's logo on it. Powerful. One of the other things is one of our new partners is Pelican State Bank. They came in, we did a presentation for our president and chancellor reception, and we're going to have debit cards with Pelican Bank. And, every transaction, a percentage is going to come back to the Alumni Federation.
Wow.
So very, very powerful. Miss Lisa Lee and Jessica Sharon with Pelican have done a great job growing that partnership. We signed an agreement, and we're ready to go. And that's one of the things we'll be talking about at the conference as well.
Well, I think we need to go to a quick break, but I do want to continue this conversation because from the research that I've done and looking into universities, again, on the same size level of Southern University, I never think it's fair to compare to some big, huge, ginormous, billion-dollar endowment school. Compared to schools our size, it's alumni that connects to those billion-dollar corporations that makes a big, huge difference. So, Perry, let's take a quick break, and we'll be back right here. We were here with the national president, the National Southern University Alumni Federation president, Mr. Carlton B. Jones, Jr. We'll be right back. This is the Jaguar Journal.
It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
T.R. Ricks is a fifth-year senior who's getting his first chance to drive the train that Bob talked about. And right now, he's driving it quite well because the Southern Jaguars are kicking butt in the SWAC conference. As Bob mentioned, 6-0 overall in the SWAC, and T.R. Ricks has played so well, over 2,000 yards passing. In the last 3 games running the football, he's been over 100 yards on the ground. The respect factor that he gets from his teammates is incredible. As a fifth-year senior who's never started, they elected him captain. And the numbers he has put up are represented on your screen. 27 total touchdowns on the offense, a pass percentage of nearly 60%. He could be the SWAC Player of the Year on the offensive side.
And they're going to get a huge dose of the best offensive player in the SWAC, and that being Thomas Ricks.
Yeah, what Thomas Ricks has found a way to do is just beat defenses either with his arm, with his feet, or with his leadership capabilities, finding a way to win the games late with fourth quarter comebacks. He showed versatility and athleticism. He's a tremendous athlete that knows how to win, most importantly.
Really is a leader both on and off the field.
I just think it has come to a maturity level. I have a 4-year-old son, and, when he was born, I had to grow up fast, and, just staying in school and practicing every day, trying to get better every day, just so he can have a better future. It's just been my inspiration. So, I just think that's my motor that drives me and, keeps me in the game.
His 4-year-old son, Collier, has not missed a game this season. They throw the football around in Rick's dorm room at Southern, and he says it's great playing football with Collier. 1st and 10. Ricks. He's got Vernon. Vernon makes the catch at the 45.
They can run the entire offense with all those guys in the game.
Ricks to Vernon. 1st down. Holmes in the backfield. Ricks. 1st down. Gage on the tackle, but not until Ricks picks up the 1st down. 2nd and 7. Ricks. Overstreet's got it. Across midfield. Ricks has a receiver downfield. It's caught for a touchdown. Territory. Ricks fakes the pitch. Gets inside the 15.
He's in the type of young men that represent his philosophy in life and in football.
Ricks in a shotgun. He's going to run it out to the 10. And 2nd and 11 after the holding penalty. Sidearm toss. And a nice catch. Ricks on the 1st and 10. Little draw play. Takes it outside. He's got the 1st down.
But Ricks going to take it up the middle.
Welcome back. This is the Jaguar Journal. I'm Brandi B. Harris. I just be on it, man. I just love it so much. Perry White is on the line. Good morning, Perry.
Good morning. Good morning.
And we are still here joined by our esteemed guest, the national president of the Southern University Alumni Federation, Mr. Carlton Jones. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We were talking about how you don't have sleep, but I'm over here drinking my coffee. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I would have brought a coffee for you.
Some tea or
something.
little hot tea, a little tea bag.
I would have had that prepared.
Water,
I'm so
sugar.
sorry. I know how important caffeine is when you need sleep.
Perry would have had his tea, and Perry would have had his horns. He'd had his intro music.
Oh no,
Perry, we're gonna work on that.
No.
We're gonna work on that.
The intro music are Brandy's air horns.
Oh,
they're just for Brandi.
Just for Brandi.
Perry gets a whistle, but he don't like the whistle, so the whistle's only going to be used on, once in a blue moon kind of occasions. Right. But we're here talking about the Southern University Alumni Federation's national conference that's been happening this week. And tonight they're having an awards gala. But before we get to that, I just want to talk really quickly because it's super important when you're talking about alumni systems and the alumni network. We're talking about connecting university to resources, to huge platforms. I know a lot of us out there wear our Jaguar prints everywhere we go.
Yep.
I'm constantly telling people I went to Southern University, and it's constantly a thing that opens the door of a conversation to somebody. I'll get stopped. I'm thinking about back in April at French Quarter Fest. I'm just walking, minding my business, child, trying to get my little snacks, my little drink, and this lady stopped me from way across the street because she knew me, and she was like, Jaguar here. And I'm like, well, come on, sister, let's have a conversation. But those conversations often, you just never know who you're talking to. I'm always surprised, the people that stop me, and I'm like, you're the CEO, the CFO of what? And you running how much money? Okay, are you connecting to the university? And of course they are, and usually they're doing it through the Alumni Federation.
Yeah, you're surprised at how many alumni out there doing the work and are getting recognized. And maybe that's what you're speaking to. They're doing the work, they're giving back, and they don't want any recognition. I just love Southern. They've got their own story about someone on campus who helped them, and they want to give it back. And you'd be surprised. You're walking through the airport, you're at the games, you're at work, and you see a fellow Jaguar, or you see a fellow at Southernite, you have something to share. You have a story, your family. So That's part of being an alumni. And you know, Perry's got his stories. Brandi, you've got your stories. That's part of being an alumni. And when I have a big thing, you know, the best way to keep a family together is keep getting together. And that's where the conference comes in. Let's just keep getting together. Let's knock out the issues. Let's talk about it. Let's have our business meetings. Let's network. And then let's get out there recharged and go back out there, get some more students, get some more alumni for Southern.
Perry? Is Perry on the line?
Well, you know, as you look at wrapping up the Alumni Federation National Conference, man, what is your biggest takeaway when you get people from all across the country? And one of the biggest things, what's the importance of having a national conference and bringing people together?
I talked about family. It's the history. It's the history. Miss Angela Proctor is a historian and librarian on campus, and she gave a powerful presentation about preserving our history. And she got to the point, she's like, I want every program. I want every flyer. I want you to write the names of the people on it. And if you walk in her office today, she'll show you notes from 1960, 1972, 1976 of programs that Southern University did, you know, speeches by the president. And if you go in that room, I mean, it's powerful. I mean, you know, it's some of the stuff that you're hearing. You'd be surprised some of the similar concerns we've had 30, 40, 50 years ago. 100 years. They're here today. So if you get in touch, you know, we've got to do a better job preserving our history. And she really brought that home to everybody about, you know, keeping that program, that conference bag, that swag material. Keep it. It's got knowledge, and someone in the future, your kids, would love to see that and hear and see what you went through and share the information.
That is so important. I've talked about that on the Jaguar Journal before, because as a journalist, I take that part of that is, I'm getting goosebumps because I take it. I'm so passionate about telling the stories, finding those old stories that aren't being documented, finding these super old newspaper clippings from 1880, from 1879 of some of the founders arguing, you know, during Reconstruction to get $1,500 to start a university in Harvey, Louisiana, technically in New Orleans, and then having to move it to Baton Rouge, and even just the debates of getting it to Baton Rouge. I could talk about that all day long. But tonight, we're going to get dressed up.
Come on.
I started the show this morning saying how I'm in my era where I love a gala. I love a fancy event. That's why I asked you as soon as you walked in, we wearing tuxedos tonight, right? Because I want to make sure my husband can wear his tuxedo.
We're going to be clean. We're going to be I'm going to be sharp. I'm going to be sharp. I'm going to be sharp. You better be sharp.
Oh, you already know. I already know. When I get invited to do anything, to be at any event with Southern University alumni, that we better step. So, yes, we've already got the clothes steamed. I have a few more errands to run this morning because tonight we're going to be in the Smith Brown Memorial Union in the Cotillion Ballroom for the awards gala tonight, right?
Yes, Circle of Achievement Award Gala. We're going to have Mark Morial coming in, a powerful speaker, National Urban League. He's going to come in and give us a word about unity and voice, and so everything we talked about is going to bring us together. And then also we got Michael Foster Project. Don't forget about that Michael Foster Project. We're going to have a good time. And then we also have Miss Brandi. Brandi is going to be our host, our special host tonight.
No pressure.
No pressure. She's got to get out of here, go get her nails done, hair, you know, all that stuff done for the night. And thank you for coming and doing that for us tonight. I really appreciate you and doing your alumni due diligence and providing some services.
I'm humbled truly to be able to represent Southern University every day, but let alone at, you know, special functions like this. So tell me, what are we going to be talking about tonight, though? The Circle of Achievement. What have we achieved?
We're going to acknowledge those alumni that have done above and beyond this year. So again, the conference is in the room where it happens, but it's also to acknowledge we are a lot of volunteers. And service requires a sacrifice of your time, your talents, and your dollars. You don't get paid for this. And the only way we can do that is by acknowledging what you've done, acknowledge what you contributed to Southern University. The Circle of Achievement Awards Gala acknowledges those alumni, special alumni who've given to the university, givers, donators of time, and also those chapters. Don't forget the strength of the federations in this chapters, our nationwide network. We're going to honor some of our chapters and some of the work that they've done and highlight some of the things that they've done. Again, recruiting students, raising money for Southern University. So it's going to be a special moment to recognize those alumni.
Perry?
It's on you guys. I think we about at the top of the hour.
Oh, yeah, we are. We're almost at the top of the hour. So tell me this, Mr. Jones, what can we expect from the National Federation moving forward?
So we talked about
conference.
So we talked about you know, some of our sponsors, some sponsors that some corporate organization we work with, Pelican Bank, Amazon. But where are we going? And so we also have the business meeting. We have elections again, so I'll be back for 2 more years. I'm going unopposed for 2 more years. But my biggest thing, I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Say
that's why I wanted my music. That's why I wanted my music.
That the record speaks for itself.
Right. I wanted my music. But my biggest thing going to be focused on an Alumni Center for Economic Development. I want to build a facility on campus that also houses our events like the conference, but also I want to provide student housing. That's one of the issues on campus as well. So my biggest thing is getting this building built, trying to help the university get students on campus. We probably have more students than we do have rooms. And I don't think everybody knows that. So that's one of the issues that you get from the conference you learn about. So our Alumni Center for Economic Development has been in the works for years, but we've got to get it off the ground, got to get it growing. I've got a new group together developing and working on plans to get that doing. So that's going to be what I'm working on. I would like to see the alumni focused on trying to grow the university.
And really quick, where can Jaguars go if they want information, if they want to register, they want to sign up to join the Federation?
www.sualumni.org.
Got it. So sualumni.org. Perry, we are hitting the top of the hour. We're going to take a quick break and pay some bills. Now, see, you should have been here so that I can get on out of here and handle my business to get ready for tonight, but that's okay. We'll take a quick break. Thank you so much, Mr. Jones, for joining us to talk about the Alumni Federation's conference that's wrapping. We'll take a quick break. This is the Jaguar Journal.
Thank you.
Are you looking for...
Southern was a little late to the game of football. They had started earlier in the CIAA up at Hampton and those schools up there. And when J.S. Clark became president of Southern University in 1914, he had already visited Tuskegee and these Howard and the other schools, and they had a football program. And he wanted to compete with them, not just in the classroom, but also on the football field. So it started as an intramural. We had intramurals when we first came in 1914 through 1916-17. And then the intramural program evolved into the varsity, into the football program in 1918. Coach Big Charlie Holmes from Colorado State, he came here as an assistant coach, but he took over around 1922, 1923, and he did very well through the early 20s. But he came up to 26. He broke even. He was expected to do well, and 27. I don't find any records where he won any games there, and he was replaced. But the person he was replaced by was a legendary. Name is Bryce Union Taylor from the University of Southern California. Out there, he had been an All-American. He was the guy that stopped the four horsemen of Notre Dame, and then he went to Chaffin University in South Carolina at 27. In 1928, he became the head football coach at Southern University and athletic director, and he really put Southern on the map. He had a lot of firsts. First of all, he had the first All-Americans we had came under him. Therefore, he had the greatest winning percentage in Southern University. He won 85% of his game here, and he had our first undefeated season in 1931 when he was 7-0, and but he was not declared national champ, but he was considered for that. But he was our first great coach during that early period, Bryce Union Taylor. We don't want to forget him. Arnett W. Mumford, he's a national icon in coaching. He had coached 10 years in Texas, Jarvis Christian, Bishop, and Texas College. But the last 5 or 6 years at Texas College, he was very, very outstanding. He won 2 SWAC titles, and he had won a national black championship at Texas College and 35. So therefore, Southern was interested in getting him here, and Dr. Felton Clark was very instrumental in the person to get him here. But his impact it goes much further than Southern University and State of Louisiana. He won 12 SWAC titles, 10 of them at Southern and 2 at Texas College. And he won 5 or 6 national black championships. And also, he was very successful in the first interracial bowl game, the Fruit Bowl in San Francisco in 1948 when he played San Francisco State, and he won that game decisively. But
Welcome back to the Jaguar Journal. I'm Brandi B. Harris. Good morning to everybody out there on this Saturday morning. Perry White. Good morning, Perry. Good morning, Perry. Are you here on the line?
There we go. I was hearing commercials rocking, rolling on me. So, yeah, I'm here.
Okay, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. And how about yourself?
I'm doing well. We're rolling this morning. We just had a wonderful 2 conversations in the first hour.
Yeah, we're rolling this morning. Had Dr. Kendrick Taylor come on and talk to us about the Southern University Summer Band and Dance Camp, an opportunity for young people all across the country to get introduced to Southern University and get an opportunity to see what it's like to get a taste of the Southern University Human Jukebox. You know, kids all across the world watch that band on YouTube. It is the most watched band. And so to be able to get an opportunity to come to the Dr. Isaac Greggs Band Hall, to step foot on the campus of Southern University, and to be there for a week and get an opportunity to see what is it like to be a part and to see what that is to be in that band room of greatness, man, that is great. And then, like you said, the dance side of it, the dancing dolls are just wonderful when you're talking about bringing in young ladies that often inspired, because now you watch these videos, everybody is just pretty much watching the side of it of the dancers. You know, it's kind of transition from the band, but when you put that all together, you're talking about an experience of a lifetime for those young people, and as well as Carlton Jones, the Southern University National Alumni President for the Federation, coming on talking about the conference going on, the national conference this weekend in Baton Rouge, right there on the campus of Southern University. It's great to have alums back in town when it's not just homecoming, right? And put ideas to the table, on the table, and be able to think about the future of the institution. How can we grow? And so good to have Carlton on. And, you know, as we continue to show, Brandi, some big news coming out of the SWAC office about a week ago. The Southwestern Athletic Conference, as we know it as the SWAC Council of Presidents and Chancellors, have approved the contract extension for SWAC Commissioner Dr. Charles McClellan. The contract extension, which will run through 2032 academic year, was announced last week. And guess what? Dr. McClellan, who was named the 6th commissioner of the SWAC during the summer of 2018, will be around through his contract through 2032. That is a long time, but I guess all the way around, all the presidents and everybody said, hey, we enjoy what you're doing. And I thought no better person to come on and talk about it than my boy Scotty, a.k.a. Off Script, who has his show. You guys can check it out on YouTube. But to talk about this more, because he is a guy that really has his opinions about the SWAC commission. And this is an interesting conversation because I think when you look at the conference as a whole, you have two sides to where people believe where the conference could go, where the conference is headed, and where we at today. So welcome to the show. Scotty, what's up?
What's up, P? What's up, Brandi? How y'all doing?
Doing well. Good morning.
Good morning. I like that air horn. That's fire. I'm going to have to steal that one. I ain't gonna lie.
You know, Scotty, as we talk about this, man, and we're talking about the commissioner getting his extension, now I think anybody who has watched you over the years know, you know, your up and down relationship and how you view the conference under the leadership of Dr. Charles McClellan. But I got to ask you your initial thoughts when you saw this contract extension through 2032.
I thought it was, I checked to see if it was April Fool's. I was like, dang, we in July, man. We about to be in July, man. We're doing April Fool's. Listen, man, like, I don't like Dr. McNugget. Like, it ain't nothing personal. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know Dr. McNugget personally. You know what I'm saying?
And you got to tell the people why you call him Dr. McNugget, okay?
Because it's hard for me to say McClellan. It's just a weird setup. I don't know why. Like, you know, like, I don't know. I just like Dr. McNugget. It fits. It works. I don't know. And it just kind of came to me one day. I was just talking. It just kind of came. I was like, oh, that fits. And everybody in the channel liked it. So I was like, hey, let's keep rolling with it. But the thing with Dr. McNugget is this: like, when people rave about him in his time as commissioner, it's simply because he's brought the SWAC back in the black. Because anything now, there's so many holes to his accomplishments, right? Like, because most commissioners, they want resume bullets, right? So if Greg Sankey from SEC, he's going to tell you how he negotiated, you know, this many amount of deals, or, you know, the SEC is getting this type of money. The Big Ten commissioner that just did that big deal and how he got $1 billion and how he's manipulated the football rights and got this and got that. Like, those are resume bullet builders, right? So, but for Dr. McNugget, when you talk about his resume builders or his bullets, there's a lot of holes in those, and I don't think people really understand the holes that go into the stuff. They're just like, oh, he's doing something, but not everything is good per se to be that he is doing so. But that's just my little 2 cents on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it was smart to give him 8 years. If you want to extend them, I have no problem. That's your prerogative. But it's just it was unanimously. Like, that's the kicker for me. Like, you're in 2 lawsuits currently and you get a unanimous vote. Like, what are we doing? Like, nobody at their job could do that. Like, if you're a VP of something and you got your company in an audit or any financial troubles or anything like that, you're going to be on you're either going to get counseled, right, to where it's like, hey, we want to write you up, you want performance review or something like that, to where, hey, listen, this can't happen. Nothing of the sort is happening with Dr. McNugget, and I just don't understand why.
So,
Scotty, let's talk about the pros and the cons. Anything good that you've seen out of the conference since he's been a part of being the president of the SWAC, the commissioner?
No, because I don't want to just say no, right? Because give me some of his accomplishments that you feel are great, and I'll be like, maybe okay, cool.
Well, my stance on it. When I look at it overall, I guess you can look at what people would consider bringing Florida A&M and Bethune-Cookman into the conference, right? I guess also you can look at the idea of bringing the SWAC championship in football to the campuses of the university. I think that was what was really killing the conference, trying to find these neutral sites in these huge venues in these big cities.
I do like that.
We tried to do it in Birmingham. We tried to do it in Houston. And, after 1 year or two, we were spending a lot of money going towards trying to have concerts at the end of the game. The same thing with basketball, taking the basketball tournament. We played it in Dallas, Shreveport, had it in Houston. I mean, just taking it all over the place. And I think now trying to centralize it, basketball is now back in Birmingham. The SWAC championship in football now is hosted on the home school with the best record, which basically generates and gives them more money. And now it is an incentive to be able to be that best team to host that game. And then I guess also you look at trying to solidify a long-term deal or a greater deal, I guess, with the conference, with the Celebration Bowl in partnership with the MEAC. But I think for a lot of people, they will say either having those SWAC championships in a centralized location in terms with Birmingham with the basketball tournament, and as well as finding a way to keep the SWAC championship football game going by now hosting it at a home site, along with bringing Bethune-Cookman and Florida A&M to the conference, in which a lot of people believe maybe not so much as Bethune-Cookman, but Florida A&M bringing added value.
No, I mean, those, I'll give you those two. FAMU and Bethune-Cookman coming to the conference, I think that's a great value and brand to bring, as well as the SWAC championships being on home campuses. Those are amazing feats. Amazing. I mean, those. That's great. I can't take nothing away from them. I think they bring great value, especially the SWAC championships being in your home, and you get to take that money home with you. You know what I'm saying? So you can't beat that. So no, I'll give you those two. So you've been commissioned since 18, and you get that's those two we rolling with. I'm okay. 8-year extension. Here we go.
On the other side with you, then, for what you don't like about it, what is it that you don't like? Because I've heard you have conversations. And one I can say, and I'm right there with you when you talk about the game that was supposed to be the SWAC Classic in Birmingham, right? Yeah. And I know a lot of people on the UAPB side in which they caught the bad end of that when UAPB and Jackson State in that first year was supposed to play over in Birmingham. And, of course, that caused a lot of issues with Jackson State and Tennessee State with the Southern Heritage Classic. And as well as I know you have that conflict with the television deal with HBCU Go, as well as the rights with ESPN.
My biggest gripe with Dr. McNugget is simply the HBCU Go deal. The SWAC Classic, it was doomed from the start, right? No, every time I talk to a Southern or Jackson State person, they was like, Scotty, we're not moving that game to Birmingham. It ain't happening. Like, they was like, that's just not how we get down. That's just not what that game's about, right? So it's like, okay, cool. And then I do remember us talking about if it got moved to Dallas because of Deion Sanders. I'm like, hey, all right, now we talking, right? If you take that game to Jerry World, now you got some value in that. But it's the HBCU Go deal that is just unexplainable. Like, if you go to the weeds of that deal, it doesn't make any sense because you have given all your secondary rights to your football and basketball, as well as all your Olympic sports, all your non-revenue sports to HBCU Go, and they don't show any of it. So they paid you for something just to have it, and they don't even broadcast it. So instead of you going to get another broadcaster to put on those Olympic sports, you're stuck with HBCU Go for 10 years. They don't show cross-country. They don't show track. They don't show softball. They don't show baseball. They don't show any of the non-revenue sports games, but they have all the rights to them. And you pay, and all they've given you for those rights is $1 million per school. Who's making money off that? Because the schools aren't allowed to make money off it because they don't have the rights to it anymore because you signed them away. So the school can't even go out and say, you know what, I'm going to partner with my regional broadcasting team, or I'm going to go partner with this so I can bring in money for baseball. They can't do it because you signed the rights away. It just doesn't make any sense in the day and age of the media space when you look at how the Big Ten is structured, when you look at how the SEC is structured. And this is my issue. A lot of people talk about, they'll say, Scotty, well, we're not the Big Ten and we're not the SEC. You don't have to be them to emulate them. That's how businesses work. Like, if I see what a business is doing, I don't have to be Walmart to emulate being an online store. I'm like, oh, that's profitable. Okay, let me try that, right? I don't have to be Walmart or Amazon to do what they're doing. Maybe to the levels of what they're doing it, I can't do it to that level, but I can put processes and procedures in place to emulate the business structure, right? So it's that for me, right? And me and you have had conversations of the lack of creativity at the SWAC office, that there's the SWAC and the MEAC come with a very, very diverse niche, but it's very powerful. Like it's almost like cult-like the way people follow the SWAC and MEAC. Why are there no daytime programming for the SWAC office, or the SWAC football, or SWAC basketball? Why are there no programming through the SWAC or through the MEAC offices? Right, like there's just little things like that. Even if it was a SWAC radio show or online radio show, right, or like what you guys do with the Jaguar Journal, why could they not do for the SWAC digital network? It's little things like that you're trying to promote your brand and be, we're the number one this and, but you're not moving like such. So to me, it's like in the day and age where everything's going digital, where everybody is implementing some type of online platform or online, you're not. You're stuck in 2020. You're stuck in 2010. You're stuck in 2012. And I just don't understand how you can keep letting this guy continue on to run you into the ground digitally, right? Because you're not really getting any real money, but you're just running. You're not being innovative for the coming times. And one thing about the SWAC has always been, you'll be in 2032 still doing stuff in 2020, and then wonder why it's not working when everybody's past that. So
I know one of the things you were looking at, you was talking about when Deion Sanders was in the conference, that should have been a prime opportunity, no pun intended, for the conference to take advantage of that opportunity, to not just use Deion Sanders, but to take Deion Sanders and to use that to grow just its footprint of media and digital media with all the other programs.
Deion put the SWAC in a lot of people's households that never heard of the SWAC, right? Put Jackson State in a lot of people's mouths that had never heard of Jackson State. So you're having eyes. I mean, I think I saw a YouTube channel with a white dude who never been to Jackson State. He did like a whole vlog of him going to a Jackson State game and how he enjoyed it and all those. Like, Deion brought you a new set of fans that you would have never had by yourself. That's the prime opportunity to sell them a product and to sell them an experience to keep them latched in. There's a lot of people in my space that never heard of the SWAC that continue to watch just because I like to talk about it. They like my show, or they like how I discuss it. They're like, man, Scotty, I really like this. I really like this. This was kept me here, right? Well, when you talk about the other fans, there's things that could have kept them here with a little daytime programming, with the show or whatever, just to get you hooked, right? Because if I get you hooked into something, you might come back without Deion. There's some people that just going to be here for Deion, and then when Deion leaves, he's gone. Cool. That's okay. I can't get those guys. But the people who are still like, oh, the SWAC is pretty cool. Like, those are people you just continue to cater to, as well as the fans that have been rocking with you forever. Now they got more stuff to be happy about because now there is a SWAC daytime show. There is this. There's so much newness to the SWAC, but it's not. It was literally just Dion, the recruiting, and that's it. What other thing new can you speak about that has started from the SWAC office that you're like, oh, man, that was a great idea? Nothing.
Well,
go ahead, Brandi.
Because we need to take a quick break. I'm just going to say this real quick. The contract extension is clear. He is the chairman of the D1 basketball committee in NCAA, and that kind of power, you can't just make that up overnight with just some new person and just put them in that place. That takes years of building that, and that kind of power has now been consolidated, and that's why he got that contract extension. But we're going to continue this conversation with Scotty on the other end of this break. On the other side of this break, this is the Jaguar Journal.
Darius Skelton has really had this wave of momentum for Southern.
Yeah, first-year player in this program. I love his decision-making. He makes quick decisions, particularly when running the run-pass option game. That's his specialty. He's been an impact for this offense since he took over as starting quarterback.
Well, Darius Skelton is a dual-threat quarterback. He can throw the football. He's very good at throwing the ball down the field. We're going to work on this spring those intermediate passes, but down the field, he's one of the better down the field passes that I've seen.
Play action, Skelton going for it all, has a man, and hauling it in is Hunter Register.
And then when you talk about running ability, he has running back capabilities. He can go the distance. He has the speed to go the distance. He has the power, and he has the vision. And I think when you put that with a dual threat quarterback, I think he's the reason why we're so happy about this coming season.
Skelton feeling the pressure. Skelton eludes a couple of tacklers. He's still on his feet. Oh my! Little shake and bake juke move, baby.
Being a quarterback, man, it's not easy at all. It was hard being here and having the expectations to be the starter and not being the starter. It was overwhelming. Like, I was ready to play, and not playing when I was ready to play just made me kind of look at life differently and really think, should I be here or should I not? And I talked to God, and he just settled me down, and he told me to be patient. That's what I did.
Skelton, who started the last 6 games of 2018 for the Jaguars. They went 5-1. Their only loss to Alcorn State in the SWAC title game. Taking the jet sweep, and Skelton awfully good with his leg. Blitz. Register, the receiver at the bottom of your screen. Nice grab. All who have had an impact here in the year lowing. Southern still. Skelton comes up for the 3rd time. Taking the jet sweep, he'll keep it. A good lead block as he cuts it to the outside. The fake to Ben. Skelton will run. And dragging with them for a few yards. Darius. The time, stepping up into the end zone, has Register. Flag down, catch made, touchdown, and it's actually first quarter yards. Southern 121, McNeese 40. Fresh set of downs as we begin the second quarter, and looking deep, Skelton for Register.
What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM.
And we're back. This is the Jaguar Journal. I'm Brandi B. Harris. We've got Perry White on the line. Perry, good morning again on this Saturday. Good morning.
Good morning. And I'm not going to lie, the air horn is starting to grow on me, Brandi.
Oh, no, not you coming around with it.
Well, you know what? No, I don't like the air horn, Brandi. You know what? No, I'm playing.
We trying to give you a sound too. You trying to resist it, but we'll relitigate that another day. Right now, we're talking about the SWAC commissioner's contract extension.
Yeah, we are. We got my boy Scotty, a.k.a. All Script. And before we go any further, Brandi, your thoughts and opinion on the commission, this contract extension through 2032.
I think we're talking about a consolidation of power. I totally understand how you could be uncomfortable with such a long contract extension. You know what I mean? And I get that there's a lot of other nuances. But the reality is, chairman of a major committee in any realm, in any industry, is something that comes with time. And it's something that comes with a lot of power and influence, and it comes with a lot of connections. So it's yet to be seen what can be done with that. But I can tell you that's something that can't be easily duplicated. And to just write someone off or to not give them the extension when they have that kind of power, long term may not always play in your favor, because it takes a long time to build up to that, right? To have that that level of power. So I think the contract extension is essentially a consolidation of power. He is the chairman of the D1 basketball committee for the NCAA, and it's yet to be seen what that can mean for, up until the end of his contract.
I guess I look at it for me, and the overall idea of where the conference is today is how much insight do the presidents have in terms of what they want is growth for the conference. When I look at this, it's to me what it feels like is though the president say, hey, I got enough to worry about. I'm just going to leave this to you. Whatever you come up with, we'll roll with. And that's what this kind of feels like to me, especially given such a long-term contract through 2032. For me, it kind of seems like we'll let you handle that while I worry about something else. And I do understand HBCU presidents do have a lot on their plate trying to run their respective campuses, right? So much on the table. But at the same time, I think it's take a collective of everybody to have an idea of what do we want to see as a future of this conference. Is the world of media rights is changing? The deals, these conferences, when you start to talk about the classics, the money that's on the table, all of these things are starting to change in this realm. And I think because we are in a situation of dealing with administrators in higher learning with research that is available, because we could do the research right there on our own campuses, we have to come together instead of just saying, hey, you got it, without, to me, seeming like any checks or balances. Whatever you come up with, you got it. I think we got to have a vision as a whole, as a conference. And for me, it just does not seem like the president seemed to be too interested in coming together and having that vision. They just saying, Dr. McClellan, you come up with the vision, you execute it, and we'll roll with whatever you come up with. Scotty?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that from some people that I know that talk to the president. They say, hey, man, we don't have time for it. Like, they don't care about the media deals. As long as we're not in debt and we're not paying something out, like I believe like Doris Sharp, he asked the school to give $1 million. And that's when the schools are like, hey, what's going on here? Like, why are we paying you $1 million to keep the conference alive, right? So as long as schools aren't doing that, they're fine with whatever they get put in, because it's like, hey, listen, if we get something, it's more than nothing, right? So you got to live with that. And I get what Brandy's saying about the consolidation of power, but like, what has him being a D1 committee chairman have anything to do with him being a SWAC commissioner? Like, those two, yeah, I don't see the connection. Like, what does that have to do with the other? Like, I mean, it's a great honor to have, it's a great title to have, but you running the SWAC conference really doesn't have anything to do with the basketball situation, in my personal opinion. I mean, what you do is what you do. Like, the two, like, is it a great honor to be bestowed upon? Absolutely. Is it a great position to have? Yeah, but that doesn't negate what you're not doing in your own conference, in your own backyard.
Scott, let me ask you this, because I think before we get ready to end this, one of the biggest things I want to talk about, and we'll get back on it, was the so-called SWAC Classic in Birmingham, Alabama, right? Where the information had leaked because the city council was coming together to pass a vote to say Legion Field. Of course, many that know Legion Field, the old home of the SWAC football championship, the Magic City Classic between Alabama A&M and Alabama State, one of the biggest classics and one of the biggest games in FCS football, is played there annually each and every year. But the city of Birmingham wanted to use that stadium, which is now becoming obsolete in the world of college football because of the age that it is, and wanted to open it up to the SWAC conference to say, hey, here's a venue that we're willing to give to you for no cost for any school in your conference to have games here, where it could benefit us if the fan base comes to the city, because we know they're going to buy hotels, food, and whatever else comes with people coming to games, and you're able to keep all of the revenue from the game. But since then, the game got tampered with because the initial game was going to be Jackson State and UAPB. UAPB caught the short end of the stick because Jackson State could not get out of his contract with Tennessee State at the time in the Southern Heritage Classic. UAPB then had to go schedule a bottom feeder of a team that ultimately didn't even count towards their stats during their football season. And Jackson State, with their legal issues, then with Fred Jones and the Southern Heritage Classic. Then it came back the next 2 years that there was going to be an idea of Southern and Jackson State, who rotated off each other's SWAC football conference schedule, that they were going to take a non-conference game between these two schools and then take it to Birmingham, and Southern and Jackson State were going to play there. But then Southern and Jackson State pulled out and said, hey, look, we'll rather do a home and home than take this game on the road to Birmingham. Your thoughts on that idea of the SWAC Classic and what happened?
Perry, you broke out, but this is my thing. Before the FAMU debacle and the whole $273 million debacle, it was a SWAC Classic. But nobody talks about it like the $273 million debacle, because to me it's like you went on multiple media platforms to talk about this SWAC Classic and how great it was going to be, and if nobody showed up, teams would walk away with $500,000. I don't know what SWAC school wouldn't want to walk away with $500,000 if nobody showed up in the attendance of the game. But nobody asks the questions, what happened? Nobody asks the questions of why did this game not happen? What was the fallout from it, right? But this is what I keep talking about HBCU media when it comes to this space, that nobody ever wants to ruffle any feathers because they're all buddy-buddy, right? I get my game passes. I get to the SWAC Media Day. I get to go to the SWAC Championship. That's my man, right? Nobody ever asks the journalistic question of, hey, you talked about this game for a whole year. Jackson State had to pay a lawsuit because of them jumping out of the Southern Heritage Classic. And, well, Deion was going to get out the Southern Heritage Classic regardless, but, you know, them jumping out, but was going to get into the SWAC Classic, and they got sued because of it. The SWAC is still being sued because of it, right? So it's just like, why is anybody not asking the questions what happened? And that's the thing. I would love to know why the game did not transpire. I would love to know. But I think as a commissioner, just as much as you promoted it, you have to come back and talk about why it did not happen. That's just what leaders do, right? Like, you got to take the bullets because of it. And that's what it is, but it's never happened.
Yeah, and I was curious because, of course, Southern and Jackson had an idea that, you know, with them rotating off the schedule, that game was going to move to Birmingham. Both schools ultimately decided that they wanted to do it home and home. And that's just what happened with both teams as it started last year with Southern hosting Jackson State, and Jackson will host Southern this year. And with the idea that he said that no matter who played in the game, regardless if no one showed up, both teams can walk away with $500,000, but yet no game has been played and no teams have signed up to play in the Classic. That's what has me baffled, because who would turn down to be able to go make $500,000 for nothing just by showing up, and nobody has taken it yet?
And that's the thing. You could have put an Alabama team, right? You could have had Alabama State play some random team. You could have had Alabama A&M play some random team to replace Jackson and Southern, right? Because this is the key to the game. If nobody shows up, you still can walk away with $500,000, right? So it's like it didn't even need to be a high-profile game. It could have been Valley versus A&M. It could have been Valley versus Alabama State. It could have been Bethune-Cookman versus Mississippi Valley, right? It could have been anything, because if you're telling me if nobody showed up, both teams walk away with $500,000, there's some teams that would happily show up to get that payday over a Power 5 team.
And, Scotty, what's even more interesting, aside from Birmingham, you now have two classics being played down in Mobile, right? You got Alabama State and Alabama A&M both playing opponents down. I believe Alabama A&M is playing Jackson State. Alabama State will be playing Alcorn. So it seems that these teams are rather going to Mobile, Alabama, and taking that money through those promoters than they would to go to Birmingham and play in a venue that says, hey, at minimum, you can walk away with $500,000. Facts. And I don't know the paydays for the Mobile City Classic, the Port City Classics, and things like that. But I'll take the Legion Field Stadium over that stadium any day. That stadium is horrible. Like, the power was going out. There was like sewage coming up from the ground when I went to the A&M and Jackson State game, and it was like poop coming up through the ground, like because the septic tank got backed up, right? So people man, I'm telling you, it's not a stadium that you want to go to. It ain't.
Okay, well, fellas, we need to take a quick break. We're right up against the break, a little over it. That's okay, though. We're going to take a quick
Scotty,
break.
thank you for coming on this morning, man, and joining the conversation with us, man. I just wanted to have this conversation to talk about the SWAC commissioner and its extension, man. I appreciate you for coming on this morning, man. Hey, appreciate you, P.
All right, have a good one, Scotty. All right, P, let's take a quick break. We'll pay some bills, drink some coffee. I don't know about Perry. He's not drinking coffee. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. This is the Jaguar Journal.
It's On the Yard Sports, and I'm Perry White, and what I need for you to do is go follow and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter right now.
For the first time in the 79-year history of the Southwestern Athletic Conference Elite Championship game determines the overall champion today. Live from Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama, it's the champions of the East, Jackson State, taking on Southern, the champs from the West. Hello, everybody. George Johnson along with Charles Mann. And I got to tell you, a great poet once said this is the way it's supposed to be. And it is. Number 11 Southern taking on number 15 Jackson State. Both programs have won 3 SWAC titles over the decade. So it's only fitting in the first SWAC championship game we determine the program of the decade. We've got a lot of offense out on the field. And yet this guy right here, he's going to tell you this game's all about D.
It's always all about D, George. You know that. It's always all about D.
An all-pro defensive end is going to tell you that. When you think about Jackson State, this is a team that is very potent offensively, but defensively they've led the SWAC throughout most of the year, and they've got the best player in defense in the SWAC, and that's Tommy Head.
Tommy Head. Get used to saying that name. You'll say it all day. He'll be all over the field. He's always around the football. He's the leading tackler on this team. He also has 5.5 sacks.
At one point this year, Southern led the nation in scoring defense. Then they ran into Florida A&M. They've got a lot of guys out there that can get it done, but at the top of the list is DeMarcus Miller.
DeMarcus Miller, the linebacker coach, Terrence Graves, told me there's one word to describe this kid, and that is relentless. He's only 5'10", 285 pounds. He makes a lot of plays, though.
Relentless, appropriate word for our third member of the broadcast team, and that's Joe Clare, who's standing by down on the sideline. Joe?
Yes, indeed. I'm down here on the field capturing all the pageantry and revelry that is black college football. Birmingham, Alabama is a lovely city. This is the inaugural SWAC championship in their city, so they came out to have a good time. I will be covering the bands, the cheerleaders, shout-outs, all of that kind of stuff. Back to you guys up top.
All right, thank you very much, Joe. You know, earlier this year, Southern beat Jackson State, the 4th straight win over the Tigers. But what's most impressive about Southern, they haven't lost a conference game in 25 outings. They put it on the line against Jackson State.
We look at the starting lineups brought to you by Western Union Money Transfer, the fastest way to send money worldwide. You saw the backs. Here's your offensive line. Damon Nivens is a first-team All-SWAC member. Defensively, there's your starting lineups for Jackson State's defense. Chandler, Tommy Head, Edward Reese, pretty good middle linebacker. Rashard Anderson is a professional prospect, and they say he will be in the NFL next year. It is your starting lineup, brought to you by Western Union. Mark Washington is your quarterback. Destry Wright, the all-time leading rusher in school history, is the tailback. Jeremiah Todd is an all-SWAC selection. All-SWAC team on the offense, and look how many players in this game alone. Jackson State with Wright and Morris.
On horns, and how you are just so resistant to the whistle that we're just going to have to stick with the quality air horns.
What are you talking about, Brandi?
Oh, you didn't hear me. I said Mike and I are in here having such a good conversation about my quality and now signature air horns, and we want you to have this same experience. We want you to have your own signature sound.
Who is you? Who are you speaking of, Brandi?
Me and Mike.
I'm talking about, are you speaking of me?
Yes, we want you to have a signature sound. We want the whistle to be your signature sound so that whenever Perry's about to drop his information, listen up, whistle, Here's the whistle. You get what I'm saying? I don't want you to be resistant to you. It can be your signature thing too.
You're going to have to let me just grow into it. Don't just throw it at me.
I know. I can tell. You're one of them that you got to let him marinate in it and think about it and sit in it for a little while. I'm learning this about you, Perry.
You're taking me too fast, Brandi.
Okay. Well, I think we've been having a wonderful show this morning. We had a number of guests. Still looking forward to tonight, the Southern University Circle of Achievement Awards Gala happening at the Cotillion Ballroom. I will be the fabulous host, wearing my dress, looking like Kiki Shepard. I've been saying since Pat Sajak retired from Wheel of Fortune that Vanna White should retire, and they need a new Kiki Shepard, like from Apollo, and it could be me. What you think, Perry?
And 225-499-1073 if you want to call in and ask Brandi what color is the dress. How long is the dress?
No.
What color her nails are going to be?
I'm not giving away any hints. They have to be there tonight to see. Or they need to follow me. Or they need to follow me on Instagram to see the pictures when they drop. The exclusive pictures. Give them the bombs one time. Give them the air horns one time, Mike. You're going to have to follow me on Instagram to see. Period.
You know, Brandi, interesting conversation. Of course, we had Dr. Kathy Taylor talk to us about the Southern University Summer Band and Dance Camp, once again giving students an opportunity to come on the campus of Southern University and get a taste for 1 week of high school students to be able to see what is it like and what does it take to be a part of the Southern University Human Jukebox, of course, the #1 band in the nation, the most watched band across the land. And so giving those students the opportunity to see the campus and become prospective students, and not necessarily in the band, but just students of the university. Carlton Jones, the Southern University National Alumni Federation president, coming on talking to us about the big week that they've had in Baton Rouge and continuing through today and tomorrow with the Southern University National Alumni Conference. And to anybody that's listening, because we have a lot of people that listen on this show that are alums from other schools. You know, I'm always interested in what other schools are doing with their alumni federations and or associations, and are you involved? That's the biggest thing. Be involved and be a part of what the institution has to offer, because that institution needs you as an alum, whether you're a donor, whether you give your time, whether you send your kids or your family members to that school, whether you're buying season tickets, whatever the case may be. Be a part and be involved of that institution and what you're able to do, because we're trying to do it right here in Baton Rouge at Southern University, and as well as across the nation with our many alumni federation chapters, right? And then, of course, my guy Scotty, a.k.a. Outstrip, hey, he's up and down. You know, some people love him, some people hate him, but it is what it is, because we were talking about the SWAC commissioner getting his contract extension through 2032. And, Brandi, for me, I just think 2032 is a long time to make that long of a commitment with someone. It's not, you know, aside of a marriage, which I understand, but in business, 2032, Brandi, that's a long time.
I totally get how you could say that and how you may not be comfortable with that amount of time. But like I said, I think to me, the one thing that is crystal clear, and I see what Scotty's saying of, I don't see how those two things connect. Well, I do. In many industries, including in politics, to be the chairman, to have worked your way up to being the chairman of a substantial committee, right? An important one. That takes time. And it doesn't always happen. Some people put in the time and don't reach those levels of leadership. And the level of influence that comes with being the chairman of one of the most important committees in the NCAA, I can't imagine. I'm not super well versed in it, but I can only imagine that it comes with a lot of power and influence that the heads of the soccer committee and the heads of some of the other sports committees, not that those sports aren't important, but we all know that when it comes to NCAA sports, football and basketball reign supreme, specifically basketball because of the March Madness tournament. So I think that kind of consolidation of power is what you're seeing when the SWAC decides, yeah, we're going to keep him here, because not only from their minds or even in Scotty's perspective of, we don't have to do anything, quote unquote, because he can run it. I see why they think that. And to have that level of power and influence and be in charge of to bring HBCUs with you on your back is an important thing.
Yeah, and I'm cool if an extension, you know, we're in 2024. I'll give you to 2028, right? I'll give you 4 years, and in 4 years we get an opportunity to evaluate you, because, you know, when you're talking about contracts, let's just say whatever year may come about, if you want to fire him, you have to pay out that contract. And so that's where I just look at in terms of the resource.
On the flip side, I hear what you're saying, but on the flip side, if you don't keep him for longer, and let's say some bigger conference is looking, right, and they're offering him money that you can't offer, what do you think would happen? By keeping it, by making the contract longer, you get what I'm saying? To me, that's what it is. It's a consolidation of power to make sure that we remain with this level of power and influence at the NCAA level with the SWAC going with them. Because, I mean, from what I see in sports and in NCAA sports, it's a lot of relationships and collaboration is important. And it would also be probably from one individual's mind also important to move on to a bigger conference that could also create collaboration and relationships with the SWAC again. But as the SWAC, I don't want to lose him. So I'm going to offer you a longer contract to make so that you could, so we are both agreeing that you got to stay even longer. You can't even jump away to go to some huge multi-million-dollar offer from some other conference.
And I get it. I guess, I don't look at that long term when it comes to business. 4 years, 4 to 5 years is about enough for me, to kind of give me a perspective because things do change. Somebody could be coming around. I just look at it. That is a huge long-term contract. But I understand to your point. I understand to Scotty's point. And guess what? It's an opinionated show. Everybody has their thoughts and opinions on it. But me, that's just a long-term contract that 2032. Your kid's going to be grown. Just 2032. That's a long time, man. But, for me, I think where we are now, considering bringing in Bethune-Cookman, bringing in Florida A&M, those were good moves. And a lot of people were saying, well, hey, should we continue to bring in it? And that was even a conversation on the table, Brandi, of maybe going out and bringing in non-HBCU schools to the SWAC, right? Because there were conferences like the Southland who were knocking at the door of Prairie View and Texas Southern saying, hey, would you consider coming over to the Southland Conference, in which we know in the state of Louisiana, Northwestern, McNeese, Nichols, and Southeastern are all a part of that conference. We are in the same footprint of those conferences. Yep. And then the same thing, there was rumbling that the SWAC maybe have had conversations with a couple of those schools who were in the same footprint coming out of the Southland to try to add as additions to the SWAC, an all HBCU conference. So over the years, you've had some rumblings of things going back and forth. The SWAC conference seems to be sustainable right now, more so than we see over in the MEAC, who has lost schools, right? They lost North Carolina A&T. They lost Hampton. They lost Savannah State, who ultimately moved back down. They lost Bethune-Cookman and Florida A&M to the SWAC. So the MEAC on the other end seems to be the one on the struggle. The SWAC has seemed to found its footing and is standing firm. And I think more than anything, where the SWAC is today, with now getting out of the red and starting to be in that position to earn money, one of the biggest things that Dual Sharp, I think, tried too hard, the former commissioner of the SWAC, was really trying to take the SWAC show and, as I call it, take it on the road, right? Our biggest thing in terms of football, the SWAC has led FCS in attendance for over 30, almost 40 years, right? That is huge when you talk about our conference, the fan base, and the support that we give towards our athletics, in particular football, and the type of venues where we can go into these huge stadiums and put 50, 60, 70,000 people as though we are an FBS conference or an FBS school when it comes to these types of games. But to try to take that on the road with the SWAC championship, I think the best thing we could ever do when it comes to the SWAC championship is football is to continue to host it on the home site of the team with the best record. That then creates an incentive to be able to host that game, keep all the money, and as well as give you what it is like for a true game day atmosphere on the campus of one of our prospective schools for the nation to see for a national television audience, more so than taking it to a neutral site like Houston and Birmingham and so forth, where you don't quite truly get that atmosphere because you're outside of that element of what it's really like to be at one of our schools. And you know and I know there's nothing like a game day at Southern University, right? You know, like I know, when you go into Alcorn and Jackson State and all of these other campuses, when they host these games in these schools and the game matters, there's nothing like those atmospheres at that school, the tailgating and everything else of the pageantry that comes with it.
All right, Perry. Well, let's take a quick break and we'll wrap this thing on up on this Saturday morning. Let's take a quick break, and on the other side of this, we'll wrap up the 8 o'clock hour. This is the Jaguar Journal.
Watching the Southern University Human Jukebox. Click here to watch more videos, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share.
What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Jaguar Journal. I am Brandi B. Harris. Perry White. Good morning, Mr. Perry.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to everybody that's watching on our YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel as well as on our Facebook page. Be sure to go follow us on there. We got people checking in from San Antonio. I see Miami checking in. People from right here around in the capital city area. Louisiana,
Dallas.
So
we got
morning,
people
everybody.
checking. People have been messaging me. They're listening. They're watching the Jaguar Journal. We certainly appreciate y'all.
Yeah, good morning to everybody that's out there. And, of course, everybody's just not Southern University. We get people from all over, from other schools or, just listening, getting up in the morning. Good morning to you guys. Good morning to our people and affiliates over in Alexandria, Louisiana as well. They listen back to us on Sunday, so I want to make sure I say good morning to them. Also, and make sure you guys hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. It is free. We just want your support, nothing more, nothing less, and as well as go follow us right there on our Jaguar Journal Facebook page. Good to have you guys with us each and every Saturday morning. I know it is early on a Saturday morning because people love to enjoy their Friday nights, but guess what? It is early, and we're coming up this week, Brandi, the 4th of July holiday, Essence Fest. There's a lot going on.
There is a lot going on. It is hot. Make sure you're staying hydrated, wearing your sunscreen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And also I got to say good morning to Rick Body, Andrew Body's father. Andrew Body's the quarterback over at Alabama State, former quarterback at Texas Southern, man. I love that guy right there. He's always a big supporter of what we do. So I want to say good morning and shout out to him. And somebody asked Brandi, what's your father's name? Because he said he's KK Psi. Edwin Moore said he's KK Psi at Southern University. He want to know your dad's name because he said he's spring of 1985.
Wade Bailey. He was ace of his line. I'm trying to remember. It was spring of... I'm looking at his shirt. Yeah, and I can't remember. It's probably here on my phone. But Wade Bailey is my dad's name. A lot of people know my dad. Shout out to my pops. I'm a big-time daddy's girl around here.
My boy Kevin Walker out there watching his wife. Of course, she was on talking about the yoga. Did you get a chance to make it to the yoga event?
I did not. Well, it was for men.
Well, you still could have, went over and just say hello.
Yeah, no, that was for men. That was for men. I do yoga, but I do yoga, in the outside of those spaces, outside of the ones that are for the guys. Y'all the ones that got to get introduced to it. I can do more advanced yoga.
Oh, excuse me.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do a little basic downward dog. That's for y'all. Y'all gotta. I'm doing the more advanced stuff. Hot yoga. We're doing a lot of different kinds of yoga poses. Very, very relaxing stuff. Very, very relaxing. I love working out. Love it.
Yeah, I told him I'd get over there. I slowly but surely start to incorporate it into my lifestyle, the yin and the yang. How about that?
The yin and the yang. Yin and yang. So, Perry, it's a Saturday morning. We had a very spirited conversation this morning. A lot going on. The Southern University marching band just wrapped up their high school band and dance camp. The National Federations Conference just wrapped up this week. We're going to be out there tonight. If you're out there tonight, come say hello to your girl, okay? Don't be shy. Just come say hello. We're going to have a fantastic time. I love these kinds of events. And then, of course, we're continuing that conversation. Commissioner is going to have a lot on his shoulders. That's all I'm going to say about that conversation. But enjoyed having a spirited conversation with you and Scotty on that this morning.
And I would hope, SWAC Media Day will be coming up here in a couple weeks, man. I hope at some point we'll reach out to the SWAC office and see if we can get Dr. Charles McClellan on the show. He's one of the guys. He was on once before. It's been a couple years since we've had him on the show, but I would definitely reach out to see if I can get him on the show. And then, just continuously bring him, because one thing I want people to know about this show, regardless if you like the opinions or not, that's what this show is. It's like the presidential debate that everybody watched the other night. You like one guy, you may not like the other guy, but at the end of the day, the conversation is to be had, because some people may agree, some people may not agree. But at the end of the day, that's what this show is all about. And trust me, y'all going to be feeling that same way regardless when them opinions start to roll in football season. Because last football season, my guy, Brandi, Coach Dooley, I didn't know what to do for the man. I almost felt like I was his PR rep as much as they was calling and talking to me about Coach Dooley.
They were frustrated, huh?
Huh?
I said frustrated. Well, we got there's a new era. It's a new era on the bluff. We'll see what Coach Graves can do with it. I'm definitely looking forward to football season. I know you are.
What you called this season? You called it a couple weeks ago. You called it the what season?
What?
The get back season?
That get back season. That's it. It's that get back season. We got to get our get back.
Southern, we need that on the football schedules. Let's put that on the football schedule. Get back season.
Yeah, no, we're gonna have to. That we need that get back season. I'm looking forward to get back season. Well, Perry, I think it's time to wrap up our show. I want you to have a wonderful, safe weekend. All right, we're gonna tap in same time, same place, correct?
Yep, I'll be back next week. Next week I'll be back in the studio with you. So my travels will be over.
Okay, so where's Waldo, a.k.a. where's Perry, will be no more. Riddle solved next week. We're looking forward to it. Thank you so much for listening to the Jaguar Journal. Wherever you're listening from, make sure you like, follow, subscribe on the YouTube page. Everyone have a happy, safe weekend. I'm Brandi B. Harris, Perry White, and this is the Jaguar Journal. You'll have a good one.
What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.